Hey there YouTube, Lator Awesome here, and welcome back to Pokemon Volt White version. In the last part, we beat Team Plasma a lot and got here to Route 3. And in this part, we also got the Super Rod, and I've switched back to 2 screens because I wanted to. First of all, I wanted to show off all the TMs that we got, because they're all new moves. Anyway, Smackdown is a 50 power, 100 accurate rock type move. Nobody can learn it, but it's really good because it's an accurate rock type attack. Incinerate is normally a lot weaker, but it's a good fire move. In Black and White, it's actually 30 power. So is Struggle Bug. Drayano boosted them both and put them here, which they normally aren't found in the Dreamyard. Pluck is a good flying type move. It steals berries. Pretty cool. So I just wanted to go over those real quick and then show off the new registration system, because now when you hit select, you get an actual menu and you can decide what items you want to use. So I think that's pretty cool. But in this episode, we are going to be going pretty much backwards to, well, everywhere. To show off all the new Pokemon that you can catch now that you have the first gym badge and the Super Rod. I didn't want to run into a wild there. Whatever. So anyway, new Pokemon ratings are going to be coming. But after you get your first gym badge, that can happen. There's a code in this game that in Blaze Black Volt White that lets you control when it happens, but it's a shaking patch of grass, and in it are rarer Pokemon. The first one, which I found here, is the most common Pokemon found in shaking grass everywhere. I mean, it's everywhere. Audino. Audino is a pure normal type Pokemon introduced in the 5th generation. I keep saying first when I meant 5th, because they're similar. I don't know. Anyway, it's a pure normal type. Not a good Pokemon to use in-game. It gets a 1 out of 10 for in-game use. It's basically Chansey, but worse. However, Audino has another use, which I'm going to demonstrate by KOing it with ease. It gives a ton of experience. That's a level 8 Pokemon giving almost 300 points of experience. Yeah, that's what they do. They give a ton of experience. They're great for grinding. If you train against them in routes where, they're near your level, you can pretty much get a level up from 1 or 2 Audino fights. It's that good. But otherwise, in the Shaking Grass here in Route 2, you can find Skitty, Butterfree, Beedrill, Beautifly, or Dustox. Yeah, those are the Pokemon that you can find here in Route 2 in that Shaking Grass. Now, I also want to go over here, because over here, you can actually... Hold on. Aha! Can I fish there? You can get shaking grass in the water too. And when you do that, you can... I don't actually know if that was a shaking spot that I was fishing in or not. I need to get one of those where I can actually reach it. Aha! There I can. Come on, work. No! Come on. Oh, darn it, it's over there. I can't... No, it didn't disappear! Alright, I'll be right back when I actually find the Pokemon that you can get here in the shaking water. Or the, bubbling water, I guess you would call it. Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, finally found you. Wow, you're high-leveled. A lot higher than I expected. I might as well fight this thing. Anyway, this is the new Pokemon that you can find here by fishing in those bubbly spots here in Striaton City. This is Basculin. Basculin is a pure water type introduced in the 5th generation. He's not... I mean, he's not what I'd call very good. Oh my goodness, I forgot to... Wait, where is his rating? I know I have it somewhere. Where'd he go? Did I forget to do that? No, did I? I may have. Whatever. Basculin here gets a 5 out of 10 for in-game use. Because he's... Oh my! I wasn't paying attention at all. But he's just a regular old normal type, or water type. He doesn't evolve. He's okay. I mean, as you just saw, he just took out my starter. But I wasn't paying attention, and it was higher level. So, no, I don't want to talk to you again. But anyway, 5 out of 10 for Basculin, because he's okay, but, you know, he doesn't evolve, so he kind of falls off after a while. And that actually does it for the new Pokemon you can catch fishing here. Old Pokemon you can catch fishing here include Psyduck, Slowpoke, and Staryu. That's without the bubbly water. Also, by fishing on Route 1, which I'm not going to go back to because that would take too long, you can get Goldeen, Magikarp, or Feebas there. That's without the water bubbling. It's the same Pokemon with the bubbling. Also, in the Dreamyard, there's Shaking Grass in the Dreamyard. In there, you can get Audino again, Togepi, Clefairy, Jigglypuff, Chingling, which is the pre-evolution of Chimecho, which I covered in the last game, so I don't need to cover them here. And also Lunatone and Solrock. So, lots of new Pokemon that you can get. After you beat the first gym badge, or after you beat the first gym, get the badge, and then get the Super Rod. Next, we have the new Pokemon of Route 3. So I'm going to go find them, non-Shaking Grass first. Okay, convenient. Anyway, the first new Pokemon that you can find here on Route 3, in this part, the upper side, without the Shaking Grass, is Shinx. Shinx is a pure Electric-type Pokemon introduced in the 4th generation. You typically get him pretty early game, and he's actually a really good in-game Pokemon. He's a physical Electric-type, and there aren't a lot of physical Electric-type moves, but he's got a good move. He has decent moves. He's got good stats and a good ability, so he gets a 7 out of 10 for in-game use. However, in Blaze Black and Volt White, he's added a Dark type to his, well, typing. His evolutions have, actually. Making him a Dark Electric type with much better moves, 2 steps instead of 1, and just a much better Pokemon in all. So he gets an 8 out of 10 for Blaze Black Volt White, and a 7 out of 10 for regular games. So I'll be right back when I find the other new one. Okay, finally found you. Anyway, this is the next new Pokemon that you can find here in the first grass in Route 3. Shellos. Shellos here is a pure water-type Pokemon introduced in the 4th generation. Or, no. It's a water-ground type Pokemon introduced in the 4th generation. That's just his evolution. I always forget with Shellos. But anyway, his evolution is a water-ground type Pokemon. Not very good for in-game. Of the water-ground types, it's definitely the weakest in-game. Except for maybe the one introduced in the 5th gen, actually. But Shellos doesn't really have... I mean, it has a good move pool and it has a good type, but that's all it's got going for it. Its stats aren't very great, and it's a pain to level up. So he gets a 5 out of 10 for in-game use. So he's still usable, but just not as good as some other ones. That does it for the new Pokemon you can find in this grass up here. There's an item over there. Also a trainer. Other old Pokemon that you can find here include Mareep, Talos, Sunkern, Lotad, Seedot, Abra, and Phanpy. In the Shaking Grass on Route 3, this part of Route 3, yeah, there's 2 parts. Oh yeah, Judith has Sturdy now. Actually, Sturdy now doesn't just negate one-hit KO moves like Fissure and Guillotine. It just negates moves that will knock you out if you're at full health. So, really helpful, actually. And now, ooh, an Aron. But, anyway, in the Shaking Grass, you can find Audino, again, obviously. You can always find Audino, pretty much. And you can also find all 5 Water-type starters in this route. They're at very low percentages in the Shaking Grass. That's why I wanted to cover the Gen 4 starters in the 5th gym, where you'll actually see them first. Because they're really low, and in the Shaking Grass, which is annoying. So, all 5 of them, Squirtle, Totodile, Mudkip, Piplup, and Oshawott are all right there. So if you want to use one of them, or if you want to use an Oshawott and you didn't start with one, you can get it right there. Yeah, I really like that touch by Drayano. He put all 3 groups of 5 starters in the early routes. I'll mention them when I come across them, clearly. But I really like that. It's pretty much what good hacks do. Anyway, right on to the next new area here. We have Wellspring Cave, which is where we already were, but I didn't cover the new Pokemon. Please be a new one. Please be a new one. Please be a new one. Please be a... No! Yeah, you can find Zubat in here. If you didn't know. It's a cave. Actually, in regular black and white version, you can't, because this is the replacement. This is Woobat, one of the Gen 5 Pokemon that you can find here in Wellspring Cave. Woobat is a psychic flying type introduced in the 5th generation, which is an interesting type. And Woobat is the first early game Pokemon, outside of Natu in this game, in this hack, that you can actually catch early on and make use of. Woobat and its evolution Swoobat are both actually pretty good Pokemon. They make good use of their type, and they're just pretty good in general. Psychic Flying is a good type, and they can use it. So they get a 7 out of 10 for in-game use, because they're kind of frail and mostly about speed, but they're still pretty good. So I can recommend one. And now I'm going to pause until I can find the 2 other new Pokemon that you can find here in the cave. Okay, the next new Pokemon you can find here in Wellspring Cave is Roggenrola. Roggenrola is a pure rock type introduced in the 5th generation. He pretty much replaces Geodude in this gen. They have pretty similar abilities, pretty similar move pools, the same evolutionary kind, I guess, in that they evolve once and then need a trait evolution. And pretty similar ratings. Roggenrola stays a pure rock type all the way through, which is pretty cool. He gets a 6 out of 10 for in-game use if you can't evolve him to his final form. If you can evolve him into his final form by trading, which is Gigalith, which you can do in this game at a level up, just with a level up, he gets an 8 out of 10 for in-game use because he gets a lot better. That's about all I have to say about Roggenrola, and I like how the camera moves a lot. It's cool. Anyway, one more new one to find here in the cave. Or in the regular part of the cave. There's more, of course. Finally! Oh, I've been looking for this Bronzor for 20 minutes. Anyway, the final new Pokemon that you can find here running around normally in this cave, Wellspring Cave, is Bronzor. Bronzor is a Steel Psychic type introduced in the 4th generation. Steel Psychic is a phenomenal type, and he actually has a pretty decent move pool to back it up. However, his stats are not very good for in-game use. He's a very defensive, bulky Pokemon. He still gets a 6 out of 10, mostly due to his typing and the fact that he can use some attacks from it, but he's going to be a pain to raise and a pain to find! Clearly! So I'm done with you, Bronzor. I'm not done with this cave, though, because, as I'm going to demonstrate... Oh. But you can see that there's that patch of shaking dirt. That's like the shaking grass. You can find it in caves. And here's the annoying part. The shaking spots, either grass or in caves or in the water, disappear if you run into a wild. So if you see a wild before you get to it, and in the caves they can also get you a lot of items, rather than just what? You gotta be kidding me! Oh no! And this is why it's so annoying. Yeah, these spots are really, really annoying if you're not... if you're in a cave, basically. No! Yeah. Imagine doing this if you don't have a magic button that makes them appear. Because then you'd have to wait for them. But I picked up a repel. So now I'm going to use that. And run into a wild Pokemon. Please be the new one. Please. Thank you! Okay! This is the final new Pokemon that you can find here in Wellspring Cave. This is Drillbur. Drillbur is a pure ground type introduced in the 5th generation. His evolution Excadrill, or Excadrill, whatever you want to call him, is a ground steel type introduced in the 5th generation. Drillbur and Excadrill are fantastic. They're a lot better in the metagame than they are in-game. And in-game, he gets a 9 out of 10. So that tells you how good this Pokemon is. He has a great move pool. He learns Earthquake, he learns Rock Slide, he learns whatever you want, basically. He's also got really, really good stats, a fantastically huge attack and good speed, and an ability that doubles his speed in sandstorms. He's really, really good. In other words, you can find him here. You can find him most places, most caves that have shaking dirt. Here is the earliest. And yeah, so other Pokemon that you can find here in Wellspring Cave. Without dirt patches, you can find Zubat, Geodude, Aron, Whismur, Wooper, Onix, and Teddiursa. I can confirm that because I ran into at least 3 of each one of them before I found a Bronzor. Other Pokemon that you can find in the Shaking Grass include Diglett. That's it. Just Drillbur, Diglett, 50% chance of each one. And by fishing, you can get Barboach, Tentacool, or Shelder. And that does it for this place. It's been 16 minutes. So far, all I've done is Pokemon ratings. You can go away. I'm not fighting you now. Oh no. You. The dark tall grass over there is double battle grass, which means 2 wild Pokemon can appear in it. And guess what? There's new Pokemon in here. Oh yeah. Please be one of the new ones. But yes! Both the new ones in one battle! I don't have to run around forever anymore. I'm so happy. I'm overly happy at this. Anyway, in this double battle, you can see 2 new Pokemon, both introduced in the 5th generation. We have first Blitzel, because he's on the screen right now. Blitzel is a pure electric type introduced in the 5th gen. He's very fast. He's a zebra. I really like Blitzel, first of all. Really like the design. And he gets okay moves. He's more of a physical attacker, and electric physical attackers aren't as great. He gets a 6 out of 10 for in-game use because he's really good early, but then he kind of fades away pretty quickly. The other one, as you can see, is Pidove. Pidove is, or Pidove, whatever you want to call him, is kind of like the Pidgey or Tailo or Starly of this game, whatever it is. He's a normal flying type, introduced in the 5th gen. Not as common as most early bird Pokemon, but also not as good. He gets a 4 out of 10 for in-game use, normally in regular Black and White. In Blaze Black Volt Light, his stats were buffed, so he's a lot more useful, so he gets a 6 out of 10 for in-game use. But either way, I don't really recommend Pidove, because in regular Black and White version, you don't really need an early game bird. You can use a monkey instead, or something. And in this game, if you want an early game bird, go get a Starly, go get a Tailo, go get a Pidgey, or a something. I don't know. He's kind of the weakest of them. So, that does it for the new Pokemon that you can find here in Route 3. Okay, just a Blitzel. Okay. Other Pokemon that you can find here in the double battle grass on Route 3, which I'm now out of, include Growlithe, Vulpix, Houndour, Budew, who is a pre-evolution baby form of Rosalia, who I covered in the past game. However, in Gen 4, Rosalia got a pre-evolution, which is Budew, which evolves via Happiness, and it evolved into a Pokemon called Roserade. Roserade is a lot better than Rosalia, a lot stronger special attacker, with a better, well, with better moves. And he actually gets an 8 out of 10 for in-game use. So if you want to look around in there, he's a very good grass and poison type. You have to evolve Budew with Friendship, and then Rosalia with a Shiny Stone, but he's actually kind of worth it. I've used a Roserade a couple times. He's good. And that does it. No, wait, no, it still doesn't do it. Of course not. You have more grass down here. But also found on Route 3 are fishing Pokemon. Nothing new, thankfully. But there are some Pokemon that you can fish up here, as I'm gonna sneak past this trainer. Anyway, if you fish here, you can find Poliwag, Chinchou, or Remoraid, and if you get the bubbly water, you can find Quillfish. And that... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, also in the double battle grass, I got held up on Rose Raid. You can also find Marrow, Volbeat, Illumise, Lombre, and Nuzleaf. Okay. That does it. That's all the new Pokemon that you can get after beating the first gym badge and getting the Super Rod in this hack before you get to this gate thing here. There were so many of them, and it took an entire 20-minute video to cover them all. Yeah. I prefer to play outside, I guess. Thing nobody knows. Weird. Oh yeah, it just said that we fought the Stratton City Gym, and oh, if you hit A here, you can look at this. It's pretty cool. Then you just hit any button to get away. It's June 28th? Oh yeah, I guess so. So, we have now reached the next town, Nacrene City. Oh no, Charon's there. He's going to annoy us, isn't he? But that does it for this part. I'm sorry that it was just Pokemon ratings, but the Pokemon ratings will eventually die down. Not yet. Not even soon. But they will eventually stop coming. Because a lot of Pokemon are crammed into these early routes. And there's a lot of Pokemon in general in this game. 649 of them, to be exact. And yeah, I'll be covering them all. I mean, I've already covered 386 of them. But that still leaves 300. Well, that's right, not quite 300, but a lot. A lot. Anyway, in the next part, we're going to be exploring Nacrene City here, picking up our second team member somewhere, and probably fighting the people back there that I skipped because I want to trade my second team member. Hope you enjoyed this part. I'll put a warning in the description that it's just Pokemon ratings. So I will see you guys next time when we actually do things.